All right, Mr. Deora, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. Do you really get time to have cups of coffees and nashta these days? How busy? I mean, I'm sure the schedule is busy, but do you have time to even breathe?
No, election schedules are very busy. This is my fifth election, and I've seen it from childhood. I've seen my late father. He fought um, seven parliament elections, assembly elections, corporation elections. So from childhood, we've seen it. It's a hectic time, but it's a time when we also get to, uh, you have to regulate yourself. And I've learned over the years, compared to when I was 27 years old in my first election, to now when I'm 47, I've learned how to, um, 20 years later, regulate myself much better, take care of myself much better. I meditate. I try to do at least once a day, to declutter my mind of all the activity that's been happening the night before or during the day. Um, I try to eat healthy as much as possible.
Yes,
And
that's it. We're not the
I just said healthy, and there you go. Thank you. And so these are things which I try to do, and generally, you get a good workout when you campaign as well. Stay hydrated. But it would be wrong for me to say I don't get time to have a cup of coffee. I wake up in the morning. I get about half an hour to read, to glance through the newspapers, glance through the news of the day, and of the morning rather, and have something to drink.
How has the campaign trail been and how difficult has it been over the last several weeks? Take us through the challenges that you're facing while you're on the road. Of course, you're a seasoned politician. You've done it before. You've been MP multiple times. So, but how challenging has it been this time?
In a strange way, it's the heat is not so bad. It's not as bad as a summer election. My God. And the Thank you. Yes, thank you. The heat is better relative to a summer Lok Sabha election. Number one. Number two, the parliamentary elections, you typically get about 2 to 3 weeks to cover 6 assembly constituencies that make up a parliamentary seat. Here you have about 2 to 3 weeks to cover one assembly seat. So in that sense, it's easier, but it also means you're using your time to almost do door-to-door campaigning, going chawl to chawl, building to building, slum to slum, home to home, and that in some ways is more grueling also. Both have their own challenges.
As I said, you're a seasoned politician. You've been the youngest parliamentarian, and you've contested election multiple times, MP twice. What drove you to contest from Worli this time? Of course, you know South Bombay better than many other leaders. But what drove you to contest this time from Worli constituency, and what drove you to contest at all?
Firstly, um, it is a left field decision. Thank you. Mala chai, please. Thank you. Thank you. Half cup. Thank you. For me, you know, like you said, I'm a South Mumbaikar. I've represented this area several times. I know this area. I'm born here. I live here. I work here. This is my Janma Bhumi and my Karma Bhumi. There's no doubt Aditya Thackeray is an important leader of the opposition. And he's been the MLA of this area for the last 5 years. So, in some ways, this is a political challenge. The party, the alliance felt we should mount a serious challenge. And there were many discussions that we had. We have a lot of good local workers here. And in Worli is a very different constituency in that it's A, very cosmopolitan. B, there is a strong emotion of Worlikar. There are a lot of people who consider themselves local Worlikars. You won't find that in Malabar Hill, where there's a local aspiration and they want local people. Worli has had one of the longest serving MLAs in Maharashtra, Dattaji Nalavade, who was a local. After that, it had Sachin Ahir from the NCP. It had Sunil Shinde from the Shiv Sena, also locals. Aditya was really the first outsider MLA from this area. And there was, in some ways, we wanted to mount a challenge. We wanted to raise the stakes. We did think about giving this ticket to a local Worlikar karyakarta who's on the ground, accessible to them, unlike, let's say, Aditya. But the decision was finally taken that, these things spin both ways. If we gave it to a local person, what could have happened is the narrative would have been, oh, you've given him a cakewalk. You've given it to an unknown person. And then all kinds of speculation and conspiracy theories would have floated around.